Welcome, my dear young friends. I welcome you for uh, Power Plant Engineering Lecture 1.15. So here we are going to finding out vacuum efficiency as well as condenser efficiency. Both we are going to continue. Let us PS is the saturation pressure uh, of steam corresponding to that steam temperature entering into that condenser. Okay. Uh, Entering into that condenser. What is the PC? PC is nothing but total pressure of air and steam in the condenser. That is PA plus PS. PS means saturation temperature. What is PA? Atmospheric temperature. Absolute pressure. Sorry, absolute pressure or atmospheric pressure. So we are going to see that ideal vacuum possible without air leakage. That is PB minus PS. PB means atmospheric pressure. PS means saturation pressure. Saturation pressure. PS means saturation pressure of steam corresponding to the steam temperature entering into that condenser. Entering into that condenser. Another one thing will be there. Uh, So here, ideal vacuum possible without air leakage. How we are going to defining it? Atmospheric pressure minus saturation pressure. So what is that equation for actual vacuum existing in the condenser? Existing in the condenser due to air leakage. Due to that air leakage. What is that? PB minus PC, that is equal to PB minus PA plus PS. PB minus PC, that is equal to PB minus PA plus PS. Atmospheric pressure plus saturation temperature. Here we are denoting by PB or PA. Here don't confuse it. PB or PA. So then overall vacuum efficiency is we are denoted by eta V. So PB minus PA plus PS divided by PB minus PS, that is equal to PB minus PC divided by PB minus PS. PB minus PS. So here vacuum efficiency, once again we will see that PB minus PA plus PS divided by PB minus PS, that is equal to PB minus PC divided by PB minus PS. Okay, that is the vacuum efficiency of the condenser. So efficiency condenser, we are going to efficiency of the condenser is it is the ratio of rise in the temperature of the cooling water to the inlet temperature of the steam, inlet temperature of the steam, and to the maximum possible rise in the temperature of the cooling water. See, again, once again, I will explain it. It is the ratio of actual rise of the temperature of the cooling water to the maximum possible rise in the temperature of the cooling water. The maximum temperature of the cooling water, where it is defined as inlet, it is the difference between inlet temperature of steam and inlet temperature of the cooling water. Inlet temperature of the steam and inlet temperature of the cooling water. So then condenser efficiency is T naught minus Ti, means actual rise in the temperature of the cooling water, that is T naught minus Ti, okay, to the Ts minus Ti. So where T naught is outlet temperature of the cooling water, outlet temperature of the cooling water, and whereas this Ti is inlet temperature of the cooling water, inlet temperature of the cooling water, and Ts is saturation temperature of the steam corresponding to the actual absolute pressure in the condenser. Here once again you can see that where T0 is outlet temperature of the cooling water, Ti is inlet temperature of the cooling water, Ts is saturation temperature of the steam corresponding to that actual absolute pressure in that condenser. So all these things we are going to, once again we will see that the definition of condenser efficiency. Condenser efficiency is defined as the ratio of actual rise in the temperature of the cooling water to the maximum possible rise in the temperature of cooling water. So condenser efficiency is equal to actual rise in the temperature of the cooling water to the inlet temperature of the steam minus inlet temperature of the cooling water. So that is that the definition of the efficiency of condenser. So now we will see that the mass of cooling water required. This is a very good this thing. We have to calculate the mass of the cooling water. In our power plant engineering, there is no problems on condensers, but even though we have to go for some because of this, we are appearing PSPSC exams, APPSC exams, and GATE examination, Navratna companies examinations, all these things, central government exams, staff selection, all these things, it will be useful. For that purpose also, one of the corner, I am discussing these equations. So the mass of the cooling water is required for the condenser to condense a given amount of steam is calculated as follows. First, MW, mass of cooling water. MS, mass of steam condensed. H, total heat of steam entering into that condenser. HF1, total heat in condensate. Total heat in condensate. Ti, inlet temperature of the circulating water. Inlet temperature of the circulating water. Okay. And T0, outlet temperature of circulating water. So again, MW is mass of the cooling water, MS is mass of steam condensed, that is condensate, and then H is that total heat of steam entering into the condenser, total heat of the steam entering into that condenser. HF1 is total heat in condensate, and Ti, inlet temperature of circulating water, and T0 is outlet temperature of the circulating water, outlet temperature of the circulating water. That is it. Now how we are going to calculating mass of the cooling water required is, we know that heat lost by the steam, MS into H minus HF1, H minus HF1, and heat gained by the cooling water, MW CW T0 minus Ti, MW CW T0 minus Ti, from energy balance, heat gained by the cooling water is equal to heat lost by the steam. Heat gained by the cooling water is equal to heat lost by the steam. Heat lost by the steam. So that equation will gives that MW into CW, MW into CW, T0 minus Ti, okay, MW into CW into T0 minus Ti, that is equal to MS into H minus HF1, H minus HF1, that is equal to MW is equal to MS into H minus HF1 divided by CW into T0 minus Ti. Once again I repeat, MW is equal to, by observe that entire equations in the screen. MW is equal to MS into H minus HF1 divided by CW into T0 minus Ti. So now we will see that Edward air pump. This is very most important. Without air pump, we cannot remove the air from the condenser, as well as the steam is involved in that condenser. Also, we cannot do that. So now we will see that diagram of that, description of that air pump. Okay, description of the air pump. So we can see that. Okay, so here piston rod will be there, one cover will be there, both sides covers will be there. In that covers, we can keep delivery valve and barrel and port A and port B. Condensate air is going entering into that air pump, and conical bottom is there, relief valve will be there. After this thing, the entire steam and condensate will go out to the hot well. So this Edward air pump is consists of following parts. What are they? Piston rod, cover, barrel, port A, port B, port A, port B, and condensate and air. Okay, and the next relief valve, conical bottom will be there, conical water tray will be there, and then delivery valve will be there, piston rod will be there, and condensate and air to hot well will be there. So whenever how we are going to removing that Edward air pump is that piston rod will be there, the steam condensate steam and air is entering into that piston and cylinder arrangement, so that over there we are, it is lifting whenever the condensate enters into that Edward pump, it is going to be lifted, and air is entrapped in that relief valve. Air is entrapped in that relief valve, and it is the shape, conical shape. That conical shape, the pressure of the air is increased, the velocity of the air is increased, and after that, that is going to be the that condensate, remaining condensate will goes to that, will go to that. What I mean to say, hot well, remaining condensate and air, and air also will go out. Sometimes from the relief valve also we are going to relieving that one, and it is generally after the condensate that air will be separate and condensate will be differently. It will go and go to that hot well. Okay. See that Edward air pump, how it is going to be worked over there. So steam is entering. After that entering, it is going to be pushing over there. So over there, the velocity is increasing, and it is going to air, and steam is going outside. So this is that Edward air pump. Now that what is that necessity of cooling ponds on the towers? So what is that necessity cooling always to absorb, to reduce the heat from the steam. So that is the main advantage, to reduce that steam. Okay, to absorb that steam. Okay, and heat. Another one most important point, it is necessary to pre-cool that water coming out condenser before using the gain in a closed system. As with that increase in temperature, pressure is also increases. So it is very necessary to pre-cool that water coming out from that condenser before using again and in closed system, so that as that air So as that with increase in the temperature, pressure is also increased. Whenever temperature is increases, pressure is also increases. Pressure is also increases. That is that difference between there. Okay, so that is a main necessity for cooling waters. One is that first main important one is that to observe the heat from the steam. So we have to observe that heat. So again we have to recycle. No? That is the reason it has to be observed. So condenser water cooling system. So what are the types of condenser water cooling systems are there? Cooling water systems used in practice according to the availability of water. First one is that open cooling system. Second one is closed cooling system. Third one is mixed cooling system. Always whenever I want to go in some inspection work, I went for power plant. It is NTPC power plant. It is at Ibrahimpatnam. So all these things they are going to carry in all that cooling water systems over there. I clearly observed and I learnt over there. So cooling water systems used in practice according to the availability of water. So if the water is not there, we cannot use this cooling towers, cooling. Okay, all this. Either we have to construct this power plant in by the side of any river, or we have to construct. This is in regular way. Regular way we shall accommodate. So that is that means cooling water systems are used in practice according to the availability. If the water is not available, there is no power plant. So that's open cooling system will be there. The closed cooling systems will be there. Mixed cooling systems will be there. Both all are very, very different. Okay. And open cooling systems, once through that, we can see that open cooling system. So in that open cooling system, exhaust stream from turbine, it is going to be collected in condenser, and then we are going to sending to that hot water. So river hot water, it is going to be mixing up and it will go. So from river we are going to we are extracting one pump will be there, one feed pump. That extracting pump is going to be getting that water, and it is sent to that water filter, and it is sent to that water filter, and it is going to that cooling water to that condenser. In that cooling water condenser, there will be a condenser, a direct way is there, condensate that from that condenser, it is coming to that pump. It is connected to that pump, and the pump will that is going to be connected to that feed water system. That is going to be connected to that feed water system. So one thing we are going to taking from river, and whatever we are going to use used water or dust particle, whatever it may be, that all the things is going into that water flow direction. So river is there. Okay, there is that one of the mm, means condenser flow chart. We can say that this is that condenser flow chart. How many pumps will be there, water filter will be there, going over there, steam is coming and it is involving over there, hot water, feed water to the boiler, hot water will be there. Okay. So now closed cooling systems. We can see that closed cooling system. Before that, we will see that some of the elements. So in this, from the turbine, cooling water is entering to the condenser. What are the equipment is available in this system? First one is water filter, feed pump, and condenser. and steam is coming from a steam turbine, and it is hot water. Okay, and to that hot water is going to sending to that water flow directions in the river. And then here air pump will be there in this condenser. That condensate will be there. Again, that condensate we are going to extracting with the help of pump, condensate pump, we can say that. And then it is sent to that feed water to the boiler. See how that simple is there, but it will be used to large power plants, large and medium power plants.